Hello and welcome to Oscar Mike Radio. My name is Travis, Marine Corps veteran, and your host. Oscar Mike Radio's co-producer Sinister One Productions. What's your podcast doing? I want to thank my sponsors, Joyce Asack of Asack Real Estate, Danielle Rocco with Echo 6 Creations, and my supporters, Cason Shaving Company, Exceptional Parent Magazine, and Fight Camp. Be your strongest combination. We're starting year 10 off with a bang. Things are going great. And my next guest embodies all of that. You're going to learn about a different angle and aspect of the veteran experience. It is with great pleasure that I introduce Lena Rodriguez to Oscar Mike Radio. Lena, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, we got connected on LinkedIn and we started trading some messages, and then you're like, hey, I do all this cool stuff in addition to my normal job. I'm like, okay, tell me all about it. And then I'm like, oh wow, you mean you're not the typical, veteran, female veteran, and so I want to learn more about you. And that's why you're here. But why don't you start off and tell us like who Lena was before she went in the military, and we'll start there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So, my name's Lena Rodriguez. I was born in Nevada, but I grew up in Utah in kind of a medium-sized town, Ogden, Utah. And I was unfortunately, I grew up and was surrounded by a lot of drugs, alcohol. That was just what was part of my family. And as I got older, like I always just knew that I didn't want to be around that and wanted to figure out a way to get away. So I tried going to college for a couple of years. I went to Weber State University for a couple of years. That didn't work out for me. I just wasn't ready to focus on college at the time. So then I decided to join the Army. I joined a little bit later than most people. I joined at the age of 23. But it was the best decision that I've ever made in my life. So yeah, that was a little bit about me before.
I joined the Marine Corps when I was like 22, and well, I was
Okay.
21 and then turned 22 in boot camp. And there's a real gulf between 17 and 23, isn't there, Lena?
Yes, there was for sure. There were only a few of us who were my age. A lot of them were younger. It was quite the experience being surrounded by all the 18-year-old young females. They had their little cliques. All I really wanted to do was go to sleep after the long days, stay off the radar of the drill sergeant, and do what I needed to do to pass. And it was so hard to stay out of drama. I mean, imagine 40 women stuck in a room. Like it was insane. It was really insane. So it
What did
was
you
quite the
do?
experience.
What did you
But
do in the
that
Army?
so in the Army, I originally joined as a supply 92 Yankee. I did that for about, I want to say 4 years. 4 years. I got really lucky. So my first assignment was with the 95th Civil Affairs Brigade that falls under USASOC at Fort Bragg. So I got really lucky with that being my first assignment. So I quickly learned that I loved their mission for civil affairs. And so as soon as I was promoted to Sergeant E5, I put in a packet to become civil affairs. So I did that. I did that route, went to SEER school, went to the civil affairs qualification course on Fort Bragg. I
Is
graduated.
civil affairs like public relations, and what's civil affairs? Forgive my
Okay,
ignorance.
so yeah, so civil affairs. So you have civil affairs and you have psyops, and a lot of people think they're kind of interchangeable, but they're not. So psyops is more of the not really public affairs, but they do like messaging. Like their mission, I guess, is like messaging, where ours is people like to say what is the saying? Beanie babies and soccer balls. So while everything else is going out in the background, so we deploy, we get attached to ODAs, the SF groups, and they go out and they do their thing, and we hand out the beanie babies and soccer balls just to make sure that we try to keep the attention here while that's going on over there. But they have a couple different types of missions. I deployed with them when they did the village stability operations in Afghanistan. And then I also did what was it, the SIMSI mission where I was in Africa, in Chad, Africa, and we were like a liaison for the special operations teams that came in and trained the forces out there. So Yeah, it was a great job. We'd go around and do a lot of like civil information management, meet with the local hospitals, try to see what we can do to help them. We would meet with the police chief, and just get information from the area.
Did you find what you were looking for in the Army then?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that it definitely was like what I needed. Like I was already like I wouldn't say like a goody two shoes, but like I like to follow rules. Like rules like really helped me like find purpose. So I think that it was perfect for me. And I was always like, so after civil affairs, I didn't stop there. During my deployment to Afghanistan, I put in a packet for green to gold. So I did the green to gold active duty option, and I commissioned as a military intelligence officer. And I did that for 3 years. And then I wanted to try something new, and I found this message that they had for doing a officer to warrant officer program to become a CID agent. So then I put in my packet to become a CID agent, and I ended up retiring as a supervisory special agent for the Criminal Investigations Division.
So in a way, you really do have the Army experience that they talk about on TV and that they talk to you about in the recruiting office, where you can kind of make the Army experience what you want it to be if you
Absolutely.
if you follow
Yeah.
the rules and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was great. I learned so much. I experienced so many amazing things, good and bad, but like that just made my journey its own and really shaped me, I think, into to who I am. So it was great for sure.
So you did a full 20?
I did a full 20. You know, I always made it, I always said I'm 20 and done. Like I'm not doing any more 20 and done. They got me with 20 in 3 days.
So you cut it close.
Yeah,
They didn't
I
try
was pretty close.
they didn't
Yeah.
try to get you for like 24, 20, because sometimes they do that. Like, hey, you can get your pension bumped up if you stay for 30. And some people do
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, they do. They do. So, like a few years before I retired, so I retired as a CW3, Chief Warrant Officer 3, and a few warrant officers before me, I think they stopped the program, but they had a program to retain warrant officers, and they would offer you like a $40,000 bonus to stay on for a few more years. But I think towards the end of my career, I was just really done. In CID, you see a lot. I experienced a lot the last few years, and I have a young son that I really wanted to be more present as he's getting older. So, have not had. So, yeah, I mean, I could have done some more, but I really wanted to just find somewhere, settle, and just move on to something
Sure,
else.
sure.
Yeah.
But overall, a very successful, varied, and amazing Army career. No doubt about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, then what was transition like once you go from being in these high speed areas back to civilian life?
Oh, it was difficult. After going through all the transition anxiety like that you have as you're getting out, figuring out what you're going to do. I My goal was to focus on, I knew I wanted to stay like in the criminal justice type um, system. And I worked on a paralegal degree. So I was like, I've got that experience there. I really like law. Don't want to be a lawyer, but I want to stay involved. So I worked on a paralegal degree, but I found out quickly that I didn't have any experience as a paralegal, and it's so hard to get a job that you don't have experience in. So I mean, and I've done a lot of jobs throughout the Army that do translate to the civilian world, but I know there's a lot of people who don't have those jobs that translate. So I just got really lucky while I was transitioning, with the new TAPS program. I know a lot of people don't like it, the transition assistance program, but I was able to meet somebody from the company I work for now during one of the career fairs he was retired. He loved his life. He loved the environment there that they offer the employees. They have over 25% of their workforce are veterans. And I was able to get a DoD SkillBridge internship with them. And I ended up getting hired on as um, a what we call a talent acquisition strategist, but it's just a fancy name for a recruiter. But
Now, just for
uh,
the people out there, can you
yeah.
summarize what a DoD skill bridge is?
Okay, yes. So The DoD SkillBridge is an opportunity for service members as they're transitioning out of the military, not just for retirement, just transitioning in general, even if you're just ETSing. I talk really fast. I apologize. I'm going to try to slow down. But what it is it gives service members an opportunity to work within a civilian organization while they're still getting paid by the military. They get an opportunity to basically get out into the civilian world, try to get some experience, try to learn about civilian organizations, how they function before getting out into the civilian world and starting a new career. So the main goal is that these organizations that allow service members to participate in this program is that they have a plan to hire them after. It's not supposed to be just free work, but I know that some people do think it is. But yeah, the goal is to get hired, is to hire the individual because I mean, as we both know, military, you bring a lot of great qualities to work and to your career field with you that you've learned in the military. I mean, you're timely, you know how important timelines are, how important the mission is to get it completed to yeah, so I think that we all bring so many great skills too.
So you get into this new role,
Hmm.
you get supported. 25% of a workforce's veteran
Hmm.
is a rare stat, let me tell you. And
Yeah.
it must have been like, in a way, different, but still, you're around people that have been through kind of the same thing that
Yeah,
you've been through, right?
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So when I first started, I was working with the IT business unit, which was just not my language. IT to me is like a foreign language. I don't understand it. But then I quickly got an opportunity to work with their missions business unit, which is the business VP is a retired three-star general. So I mean, the first meeting I went to them, I like had flashbacks of being like in a brigade command and staff because it was just like a lot of the people there are in the military or retired military and they still, they kind of function like their meetings and everything is like it's still kind of military. Bottom line up front, bottom line up front, let's get this meeting done and move on. Let's continue, Mike. Um, so yeah, it was great. I was like, okay, like yeah, this is great. And then so just like being around those military people really made me feel comfortable. And then, I did get to a point quickly because I mean, as you could see from my career, like I want to stay busy. Like I want to do what's the next thing? Like how can I continue to grow myself to continue to contribute to the army? And so I quickly found myself like, okay, this job is great. I love it, but like I need something more. Like I need something more. Like it's not fulfilling enough for me because it's like okay, like I'm talking to people, a lot of the candidates I'm talking to are veterans, but like what else can I do? So that's when I started like getting into like my veteran advocacy, like doing research on organizations that were local. Yeah, so I just really felt like there's more.
More career-wise or more just having a life purpose that kind of aligned to what you've done in the Army?
More of like a purpose, more of like spending my time doing something more purposeful and specifically for veterans to stay involved with veterans in the military community.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were some of the orgs or one of the orgs that you really aligned to that you got involved with?
Yeah, so one of the first organizations that I stumbled across was Final Salute Inc. So Final Salute Inc. is an organization that has four different programs, and their main goal is to support women veterans transitioning from service who are in a housing crisis, single mothers, and they just need support. So they have programs, one of them being Miss Veteran America. So when I found out about the Miss Veteran America program, I applied for it, in which made me start getting more involved in like learning more about their home program, which offers housing assistance, stability, like, helping a service member find stability, childcare, employment. And then they have their SAFE program, which offers like financial education to women veterans. And then their next uniform program that helps them, gives them like a makeover, helps them like buy finances like clothing, suits, helps them prepare their resumes, prepare for interviews. And then their Miss Veteran America program is not like a lot of people think like it's a pageant, but it's not a pageant. It is a advocacy platform for Final Salute Inc. So they do this once a year. for fundraising and for advocating for Final Salute Inc. So,
So you're let's reel it back a little bit.
okay.
I'm still trying to get over the fact that you're a female veteran and there's an actual like Miss Veteran America. I'm
Yeah.
gonna call it pageant because that's what I'm used to, right? But
Okay.
but riddle me this. I mean, it's there for female veterans,
Yes, it is.
but it's kind of like Miss America, where it's not just about the swimsuit competition. There's actual like meat to what you all are doing. You're trying to.
Yes. Yes. So, so the founder of Final Salute Inc.,
Is
which I think
no,
is
hang on, is it by
okay. Okay.
state, region? Does it work like that? Are you like
It's
Miss
it's
Texas?
national. No, just one. It's just one.
Yeah, but are you like
Um,
Miss Texas, Miss Louisiana? No? Okay.
so right now my status is considered a semifinalist.
Oh,
Um,
really?
s- yeah, so I'm a semifinalist. There's a group of us. We're actually meeting next weekend in Tampa for semifinals. But yeah, so it's like since I want to say January is when sign up started. So once you sign up, you're approved for semifinals is when you start like your fundraising and advocacy your advocacy efforts for Final Salute Inc. Yeah. So I do want to just say one thing about Final Salute Inc. So the program was founded by a veteran. So Miss Jazz Booth, she did 18 years in the Army. She was affected by Hurricane Katrina. She was a single mother and she found herself in a housing crisis. So that's when she quickly realized that there just wasn't a lot of support out there for women veterans. And then shortly after Katrina, she was diagnosed with cancer, which she beat. So yay, Jazz. And once she was on her feet, she stood up this organization to help women veterans who were in similar situations. So this is going to be the 14th Miss Veteran America. And yeah, we have semifinals next week, and then finals are in October.
So this is not just like a one day thing. This is like a whole process.
Yes, it's absolutely a process.
And now, have you met the other contestants yet, or will you meet them next weekend?
Well, yeah, so I'll meet them. Some of them, so you don't have to be out of the service either. Like some of the contestants are actually still active duty. So like we have a group chat that we have between all of us who are competing. Most of us are on there and we conversate all the time. We have some that will be competing for semifinals virtually because like I think one of the girls is in Korea right now and some just aren't going to be able to make it to semifinals. Do have to do finals in person, but semifinals can be virtual. So a lot of us will meet next weekend, but there will be some contestants participating virtually.
It's interesting to me because a lot of times I hear from, fellow female veterans that there's not a lot just for us. And it's hard for us. Yes, we can hang out with you all, but I had to do it. I mean, the WMs I served with couldn't believe how bad we smell. We guys smelled after 10 days in the desert. They just
Oh yeah.
they were done with all that.
Yeah, yeah,
But this is something just for female veterans and not
it
just a
is.
soul. It
Yeah.
strikes me looking at it before we started talking that it's
Hmm.
not just a socialization or social media influencer type thing. Like this is about giving all the women who participate in this
Hmm.
program contest not only the resources to have a successful life, but also the fellowship with other female veterans. Am I
Absolutely.
reading that
Yes.
right?
No, that's absolutely true. Like we talk a lot about that as well. Like, even if we don't make it past where we're at right now, like we've just created a network. We're creating a sisterhood. We're able to talk to each other and have that support from each other, even, just by being semifinalists and connecting with each other. So absolutely, it's a sisterhood. It creates that that group and environment for us to be able to lean on each other.
So how's it been for you being a part of this? I mean, you started in January, we're a little further along now. What's the process been like for you?
It's been good. I wish that I could dedicate more time to it, to be honest. I I I do a lot of I do something called a Truth and Awareness Tuesday. So every Tuesday I post a video for my advocacy efforts. I try to highlight at least one of the programs that Final Salute Inc. offers. I like to talk about mental health awareness, how important that is for our veteran community. And that's just one of the efforts that I was doing. I did, well, I'm still doing. I've done a raffle fundraiser to try to fundraise and get support. And then I did a run about a month and a half ago. Didn't have a lot of participation. But I haven't had a lot of time, just having a full-time job and having other things going on. But I do try to give a couple days a week for a few hours. I sit down and focus on like what I want to talk about next and how I'm going to contribute to advocating and in the fundraising efforts. And what's great is that even when I am busy with my job, like I attend a lot of career fairs. We have a veteran outreach program, which I'm part of. And like I go to like the bases and do recruiting there when they have their job fairs. So when I'm engaging with other organizations there and people, I can do my advocacy as well, like as part of my job as a recruiter.
Well, as a recruiter, it must come across differently when you're talking to a veteran because you know what they're going through, how they're feeling, versus a civilian trying to meet the veteran where they are. What are those conversations like, Lena?
Oh, they're great. Like I love it. Of course, I'm going to have a soft spot in my heart for all my fellow veterans, and I'm going to want to work a little bit harder to get them the job. But no, I love having those conversations because when I'm doing like a screening for somebody, I let them know like, hey, I'm a veteran too, and I'm talking to some people who are transitioning or getting out in a month or so, and just I have like longer conversations with them because I talk to them about how like they've never worked for a government contractor before, and I kind of explain like how proposals work when it comes to jobs, and I try to give them advice. I give them advice on their resumes or anything that I can do to help them. So I really enjoy those conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of conversations, a lot of veterans, look at the job market with a sense of unease or trepidation. What are some things based on your experience that veterans can do to, give them the best possible outcome for success? Relatively, but what are some good, like basic things they can do?
I think it's important to build targeted resumes because, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the skills that you get in the military, like they just don't translate to the civilian world, and it's hard for veterans to translate that on a piece of paper that somebody's going to read. So I just think it's really important that you just take the time to look at the job requirements, look at the duties of it, and just sit down. Chat GPT if you need to, just don't use that answer. And just try to figure out like how you can best target your resume to make it meet that, because I think that we forget about like small things that we learn in the military that are easily translatable to civilian. Like if you're in logistics, if you're looking for a job in logistics and there's leadership, like you're constantly doing inventories, going to the motor pool, like you're doing all these things like over years, and those small things that you're doing like add up as experience. So definitely I think that you have to like take your whole career, look at it, go back and look at your NCOERs, your school records and stuff like that, and see like what you can use to translate and to make yourself stand out for those positions for sure.
So your mom, you're working full time, by the way. You have had multiple careers, and now you're doing this Miss Veteran America program, which is awesome, by the way. Tell me about something that it comes across very near and dear to you. To me, is your America Warrior Partnership and Noah Vet, because that's something that I look at. Your social media, what you do. That those are two programs, or one program maybe, that really means something to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I came across America's Warrior Partnership as I was getting more into the Miss Veteran America advocacy and trying to find time to volunteer. And I didn't even know that this amazing organization was literally 5 miles away from me. Like they are here in Augusta, Georgia. So yeah. So I went down there, well, I reached out to somebody. She's like, hey, come down, meet everybody. And it was just this amazing opportunity to engage with this organization and figure out how I can contribute. And, I met the CEO, I met a few guys from the intake center that are talking to veterans, and I just knew it was something that I really wanted to get involved in. So, America's Warrior Partnership, their main goal, their main mission is to prevent suicide. That's the main goal. But as they're doing that, the goal is to connect veterans to their community, to when a veteran gets out of the military or is already out of the military, have somebody that they can contact to put them in touch with resources that are right there with them to have that community connection. And with the No Vet Televet program, so the CEO started the No Vet Televet program to reach the veteran population. And the concept is that if you know a veteran, tell a veteran. And they're doing their championship program. So if you know a veteran, you're going to get your own individual QR code and link if you become a champion. So you take your QR code, your link, and you give it to another champion. And you just like keep like a lot. It's like somebody commented on one of my social media posts, like, "Oh, it sounds like a pyramid scheme," but I'm not asking for any money. Nobody's asking for money. And we like to call it a pyramid of purpose. Like I'm giving you my QR code, you pass it to your veteran community, and you don't even have to be a veteran to be a champion. Anybody can be a champion. And you just continue to spread this. So we've reached that. There's over 8 million veterans out there. And as you continue to reach them, eventually it's going to fall into the lap of somebody who is sitting there feeling isolated, feeling alone, and they're going to need that resource. And it can potentially save a life. It has saved lives. Just back in 2025, AWP saved 204 lives just by getting
204.
somebody, just by getting somebody connected to resources.
In your opinion, then, I see all these complex, programs, slick presentations, high budget activities. But I have some other veterans tell me, you know what, man, it's as simple to me as find somebody to play COD with on a Friday night or meeting together with a bunch of vets, male, female, whatever, and going out for breakfast. You know, it seems like, Lena, that there's a place, almost resurgence for like simple things
Mhm.
versus complex things. And yeah, it's pretty simple to pass a QR code to somebody to
Mhm.
let them know they matter. I mean, what's your feeling on that?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean that is also a goal for AWP is to like prevent like a veteran from being isolated. And when you get out, like you're not able to relate to a lot of people. People haven't gone through what you've gone through. So also like finding groups in the area. Like if you like I joined from Ogden, Utah. So if I decided at the end of my career I want to go back to Ogden, Utah, AWP wants to be able to connect with that veteran and say, okay, there's this veteran group out there, social group that, maybe if you want to take a look at them, but they go further because they actually contact the group and say the veteran is in your community, you should reach out to them.
Really?
So yes, that's yes. They have a network of partnerships and they don't just tell the veteran about the community, they tell the community about the veteran.
So just, hypothetically, if I moved down to your area and
Hmm.
I was on the network, they would know I was coming
Hmm.
and be like, "Hey, Travis is here. Link up with him." That'd be pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't feel so alone because when I got out of the Marine Corps, I moved to New England, not knowing anybody, and it was quite lonely for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah. But yeah, that's the goal. And I always forget. Are you familiar with Onward Ops? Have
I
you
am
heard of
not.
that?
No, no.
Okay, so I am also working with this organization. I became a sponsor about a month ago. So, but just something you just mentioned just made me think of that. So, this specific organization, who also works with AWP and refers their veterans to AWP, so I'm a sponsor for them. So recently, we had two veterans who came to the Augusta, Georgia area, moved back home. So my job as a sponsor, I reach out to them. I reach out to them and say, hey, what do you need? I know you're a veteran, you just got here. And I also have more of that personal touch with them besides. So I'm not just like an intake person saying, okay, what do you need? Here's this organization. Like I'm actually like, it's my personal phone number. And I'm talking to the veteran and saying, like, this is a great housing, or you have kids, like these schools are great. Like, so I mean, there are organizations out there. And so that's one of the organizations that AWP partners with that has that community outreach that like lets the lets the community know that the veteran's there. Like me as a veteran in this community, I can help that veteran.
So it seems like you went from, just doing your job in your civilian life to
Yeah.
wanting more purpose.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have enough purpose now, Lena, or are you looking for more?
I think I have enough purpose now. Obviously, I forgot about one of my purposes, the onward ops, which I've only had two individuals that I've sponsored so far. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if every minute of my day is packed, being a mom, working full time, and doing veteran advocacy, then if I have the opportunity to help somebody, like I can go to bed at night and still be happy.
Well, all kidding aside, and first of all, much respect because it's a lot of work, and I know that. But so many times we hear that, you know what, I don't have purpose, and I kind of lost my way. You've maintained that and are happy in your purpose despite, the challenges of life, motherhood, and just trying to, get through the day. It's really a great story.
Thank you.
So,
Yes.
what's next then for Lena?
Well, hopefully I'm going to be Miss Veteran America. Um,
Now, can
no,
other people vote? How does that work?
no. So they have a panel, of course. The big so when we actually go to finals, there is going to be an opportunity. Like if you wanted to, you could sponsor a table and come out and be there for finals. But no, it's not like community voting. But I mean it's there's a lot of things. So you have your advocacy and action. We have a talent portion, which it's lip singing just to keep it an even playing field because there may be somebody out there that sounds like Mariah Carey and then I have no singing vocal cords. So they do lip syncing to keep it, a level playing field. And then we also have like a question answer panel. Yeah, so it's gonna be fun. I'm super excited.
Now, when is that again?
So semifinals are next weekend and then finals are in October.
October. Okay.
Yeah,
In Tampa, Florida.
in Tampa,
All
correct.
right.
Yeah.
How can people watching, listening, support you or get involved with any of the groups you're with, or just generally find out more about the programs you're aligned to?
Yeah, so you can follow me on LinkedIn. And I have my AWP No Vet Televet link on there, so you can help with that program there. If you're a veteran and you're interested in becoming a sponsor for Onward Ops, they need sponsors to help veterans. And that one is also, I'm connected with them on LinkedIn. And then for my Miss Veteran America, I have a Miss Veteran America Facebook page. It's Lena R 2026, MVA 2026. And that's where I have my fundraising link and all my amazing Truth and Awareness Tuesday
Yeah,
videos.
yeah.
And then I also do some TikTok content for AWP and just in my normal life. So people can connect with me any of those ways, and support would be the biggest thing is the AWP getting the word out to veterans, like just making sure there's no veteran out there by themselves alone feeling isolated and that they know that there's a community that's here to support them. I think that's like the biggest one for me. But also Final Salute Inc. That is also an amazing organization that helps women. So they need to be able to continue to do that. So the fundraising is really, really important.
Well, Lena, I will have all those links in the Oscar Mike Radio, post for this so people can check at it and support where needed. Um, y- you know, you hear about all the challenges veterans have. It's nice to hear that the Army experience went well. The transition experience had challenges, but you got through it. And then you were able to take what you learned and now serve veterans again. Um, what kind of example do you want to leave behind for other females looking to join the military or coming out of the military?
For other females joining the military, I would say it's such a great opportunity. And while it sounds like everything was just like easy and I'm so successful, I had my challenges.
Sure,
You're surrounded by men all the time. Like everybody has their experiences that they deal with as far as like today they call it the military sexual trauma. You have your experiences where I mean you just left home, you're by yourself. I've had my depression. I've felt alone, but like it's just so important to get past those things and understand that the journey in the military at the end is worth it, and just stay true to yourself. We need women in the military who are strong and don't continue to allow certain things to happen in the military, like the inappropriate comments, the things that happen. So, I mean, it will only make you stronger. And if anything, it's going to give you some free education. So do it. um, yeah. And then for veterans getting out, I would say, gosh, like just find Final Salute Inc., compete, like do things like this, like do research, try to find those organizations that are going to keep you involved with the military, because military is one of the largest growing population, or women are one of the most largest growing populations in the
Yes.
military. However, there are not a lot of us, and we just need to be able to stick together, be able to find the groups around us, have those conversations that we can't have with other people, and continue to give back to other women veterans who are joining, who are getting out, and who need our support.
Yeah, that's the thing. I talked to several women who served the military at a senior level, O5s, O4s, some master sergeants. And that's the one thing they said is there was just very few women when they were in. This is a while ago, and then fewer things for them to do when they got out. And sure, they would go to the VFW, American Legion. Sometimes they felt welcomed, sometimes they didn't, but still they were a minority trying to make sure their voice was heard. And I think what I got of looking at your work with American women veterans is, hey, there's a place here for everybody, and you're going to be supported. Um, I'm going to be, watching closely. I'll have a confession to make, Lena. So it's 1995, Fort Bliss, Texas, and Miss USA is on, and we're in Hawk School, we're in class, and we all had to, I joined from Louisiana, a couple guys joined from California, so on and so forth. So we were all making bets about who would be in what place. I don't know if we can do that now, but I didn't. Miss Louisiana got like number 4, so I scored pretty good. But maybe we can do something like that, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be like Gleiber or anything, but something to jazz it up a little bit.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I agree. We'll do our own little voting on the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, all the best. Thank you so much for sharing with me, and I wish nothing but the best for your future.
Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to get on here and talk about myself and all these amazing organizations. I appreciate it. And maybe someday I'll be back to talk about
Well,
my
I was
experiences
going to say
winning.
that, I'd like to have you back after the finals and
Yeah,
see how it
absolutely.
was and get caught up. Yeah, because
Okay,
I want to help you keep the spotlight on the amazing things you female veterans are doing for us.
awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's Trust Oscar Mike Radio. I'm with U.S. Army veteran retired Lena Rodriguez. You heard it here. You can, have challenges. You can have a career. You can have a purpose after the military. You just got to find it. Lena, thank you for sharing with us. And as we
Thank you.
say, we are now mission in flight. See you next time.
Every generation, every sacrifice. Our nation's service members have stood up for our freedom, our families, and our future. Now it's our turn to stand up for them. This year, you can honor their service in a deeply personal way by sponsoring a $17 Veterans Wreath. Each wreath is more than a symbol. It's a heartfelt tribute to the heroes who served and to the families who carry their legacy. Visit wreathsacrossamerica.org to sponsor a wreath today. This isn't just a wreath. It's a personal gift to an American hero.
Thank you for listening and watching Oscar Mike Radio, where our active duty service members and veterans are in action and the mission is in flight. Oscar Mike Radio is an oversized load Co-Sinister One production. If you are a veteran or know a veteran who needs help, please dial 988 and press 1 for the Veterans Crisis Line.